Ons het nou vir jou 'n ekstra bederfie. Onthou julle toe die Springbokke gespeel het en ons nasionale lied gespeel het en toe bly die persoon wat dit gesing het stil en die hele stadion sing dit. A cappella is die woord vir mense wat fancy is. Nee maar, kyk gou 'n bietjie hierna, dan sal jy weet. Hoendervleis. Nou ja, vanmôre het ons die ontsettende voorreg om met Motsilanyane te gesels spesifiek. Sy is die dame wat daar so mooi gemaak het, wat die insig en die wysheid gehad het om amper sê die gemeente, om die hele stadion te laat saamsing. Kybi is 'n sakevrou, sy is 'n kunstenaar, sy is 'n sangeres, sy's 'n akteur en wat 'n voorreg. Good morning, Kybi.
Good morning, Pierre. Good morning, Jennifer.
It is so lovely having you here today. Well, not here, but chatting to you this morning. Let's start with the anthem. There's so many things we have to talk about. I want to talk about where your love for music comes from. That you're not only doing that, but you're doing other amazing things. But let's first talk about the anthem that you sang that Saturday. It was an absolute stroke, a master stroke, to decide to let the crowd sing. I think you're forever part of our Afrikaner that we have in our country after you've done that. How much planning did it take?
The only thing was that previously I'd performed the anthem and I'd seen how passionate, the crowd gets. And then even on that day, I saw that as the anthem kept going, they got so passionate with every single line that came up. So I had asked the team and said, look, if this opportunity presents itself, may I allow it? Because I also didn't want them to think that something was wrong with either the earpiece or the microphone and so on, but I still didn't know what was going to happen when I performed. So in the moment I was looking and I took off my earpiece because I could see the passion building up, and I thought, let me just embrace the moment and see what happens. It was extremely terrifying because I thought that the crowd might also think that something is wrong, but they really embraced the song, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe what was happening. It was magical.
It was magical. Every time I see CL looking up in the sky, close the eyes, and singing with everything he has, I get absolute goosebumps. But now, you say it's not the first time you've sung the anthem.
No, I sang it in 2022, still at Loftus, when we were playing against Wales.
Wow. KB, I have to tell you, that moment in which you sang the anthem, I was in tears. And it was just such a moment that I think every South African that watched it, whether live or on TV, could not be more proud to be a South African.
Yes.
And I think you got it right so well to make us just feel like that little bit of hope that we sometimes need. And just by singing our anthem so beautifully, what is it like when you're standing there and you're watching the diversity in front of you and South Africans coming together and singing our national anthem with so much pride? How did it make you feel in that moment, experiencing that with the rest of the people there?
It just reminded me of the kind of people that we are as South Africans, that we always seek out opportunities to join together and do something together, with no hesitation, with no questions. So standing there and witnessing that for me just reminded me of how special it is for us to be who we are. We're such a special country, we're such a special people. We have so much that we're going through, we have so much that we're dealing with. But in that moment when just in that split second, the opportunity came to sing our national anthem together. There was no hesitation. It's very humbling. It's very encouraging. And it also showed me that, we always have to seek out those opportunities and show up for them, even just as a citizen. It just really made me feel proud and truly honored.
Yesterday at about 2:30, I quickly tuned into your Instagram feed and I saw there was a live feed of you in a studio singing. So obviously you held my attention for almost half an hour at least. I was just riveted to the screen. Where did your love for music come from, and what style? You said at some stage the Mahikeng style of choral music, and tell us more about that.
My parents are choral music composers, so I grew up with choral music at home. They would be writing a song, they would scribble some notes, and then my siblings and I would have to sing the harmonies to see if they work. So I grew up in a home that played, the Beatles and Elton John and Letambuli. So my and Handel. So my love for music started there, just at home, because every day there was music playing. Even though I didn't know at the time that I was going to become a recording artist, I always gravitated towards the arts and music. So whenever there was a music competition happening somewhere, whenever there were people singing, I'd always end up there. And a couple of years later, I remember standing on stage, accepting my first music award, and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm a recording artist, But before then, I was just in the studio vibing with the producers and so on. So I think it just became second nature.
But you are not only a recording artist, like Pierre mentioned when he introduced you. You are, a stage actress, film actress, television soaps. You do a bit of everything at KB, and it really is incredible. You've been in the industry for more than 25 years, and you see it going strong, and it's amazing just to see how you're growing from strength to strength. Looking back at your career, what are some of the highlights?
Definitely performing the anthem at the match, but also even the first time I performed the anthem, because that was the first time that we could have a live audience at the game after COVID.
Wow.
So that was also special. I'd say performing at places like Switzerland, where I represented South Africa, in Davos. But I also love the small moments or the moments that are not so publicized, where somebody walks up to you and say, your song changed my life,
Sure.
or you've encouraged me so much. I'm really passionate about what I do, and I really want for it to have a positive impact on whoever's consuming it, the listeners, the viewers, whether I'm acting on stage, whether I'm singing music. So I think, moments like that, I'm trying to find the one that really, really stands out. But I think at this moment, nothing beats the national anthem.
Kerry, you're not only all these things that we said, but you're also branching into a different direction. Recently, a Bachelor's of Business Management degree that you received. There's a big movement in South Africa that says artists also need to be able to look after their business. And you are focusing on that as well.
I am. Our industry is, it makes so much money. And the issue has always been that the artists have always felt like they're not, it's not filtering through to the artists. I love finding my own solutions, but I love being part of the solution, let me put it that way. And that's why I decided to go study. I've been in the industry for a long time. It has changed so much, and I still feel like I can contribute positively, not just for myself, but also for upcoming artists. I think that we have a lot more control now with the digital platforms that we can use, for our music to showcase ourselves. But I think we also need to have that business understanding.
Yeah.
Because I think when we have that understanding, we have a better journey with projects that we get involved in. We make better decisions. When you get into a project, you come in more as a partner, and you are more intentional in terms of what you're doing than just coming, working on something and walking away feeling like you didn't get anything out of it. So I think just being a little bit more educated about the business aspect of it, one can extract so much more out of the experience and also give so much more back into the industry, because I want to be part of a successful industry. I don't want us to, as artists, to complain anymore about what's wrong. And I'm hoping that this degree that I have acquired will assist me in contributing to that.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights and just chatting with us this morning on Women's Day. I hope you have a lovely Women's Day. I hope the day turns out just beautiful for you.
Thank you so much. Being here is a beautiful start for me already. So thank you so much, and happy Women's Day to you too. Thank you so much for having me.
It was an absolute pleasure. KB Motsilanyane, gaan doen jouself 'n guns en ondersteun haar so 'n bietjie. Volg haar op WhatsApp of hoor my op WhatsApp, op Instagram en jy ondersteun haar so 'n bietjie. Ek dink dit is hoogtyd dat ons almal ondersteun in ons land wat kunstenaars is. Nie net 'n paar, jy weet, selektiewe groepies nie. Thank you so much, KB, for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.